Welcome back to Dirty Garage Mods. I am Daniel. Today we are going to be working on the G6 again. Told you guys I had some future videos coming, and this one here wasn't planned, but it's a necessity for my job, so therefore I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be replacing the rack and pinion on my G6 today. It started getting a little loose, and when I drive down the road, and when it's first cold, it don't do it as bad, but when it warms up, it gets kind of bad, and it'll try to steer off in its own direction, especially if you're doing over 50 miles an hour. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm waiting for the car to cool off because I just drove to town and back. I will leave a link in the description for the website I use, which is DetroitAxle.com, as well as I will provide a promo code that will get you 10% off of any products that you order from them. They are real good about shipping. I ordered this day before yesterday and I got it last night. Of course, I do live close to Michigan. I'm just in northern Indiana, so, but I mean, it may take a day or two more depending on where you live. But anyways, yeah, while I'm waiting on the car to cool off, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all the viewers. I appreciate each and every one of you, subscriber or non-subscriber. My channel is actually picking up more, so that's a plus. I don't remember if I brought this up or not. I had a gentleman comment on one of my videos here a while back about, he commented on my oil changing video, and he said something about there's a gasket that goes between the oil filter and the engine. Told me how that'd be a really good how-to video to do. Mine personally does not leak, so I'm not going to do that until it starts leaking, and I hope it never does leak. That part is cheap. I imagine it'd be easy to change, but I personally am not going to do that to my car unless it needs it. My car is strictly, the stuff I do to it is strictly for working on it. If it needs done, if it don't need done, then so be it. Everything under the front end of my car, all my front suspension, right down to the rack and pinion, as of today when I change it, will be all brand new stuff that was purchased in the last year or so. But anyways, hang tight, and I will get back to the steps on how to change this. It looks rather easy. I think the worst of it's going to be laying on my back and loosening 2 bolts. Other than that, or 3 bolts actually, because I got to, where the steering shaft comes down, I got to loosen that as well. So that'll be the worst of it all. So, but yeah, hang tight, and I'll cut back in here in a little bit after the car cools off. Alright, so here we are, we're back again. I started working on it a little bit. I took the wheels off, and I got 2 jack stands and 2 jacks underneath, because it's the entire front end of the car is up in the air. I chalked the back wheels, and each one of these jack stands are rated for 3 ton, and then each one of these jacks are rated for 3 tons, so that's a 12 ton of weight, max weight on all that, which should be more than enough. This will make it a little bit safer. I'm still sketchy about laying underneath the front of it, but hopefully it won't be real bad. So I've laid under it many times, but with the wheels on and stuff like that, so wheels always give you a little bit of safety net. Not much. So anyways, I'll be cutting back in here in just a few. We're going to start with the tie rods. Tie rod ends, and got to take them off. I'll show you how to keep your alignment more or less right, so you're not going to have to worry about having to align it, hopefully. I mean, I may still have to align it, I don't know, but we'll see. So anyways, I'll cut back in here in just a little bit.
here's where we're at. I get this cotter key out of here. What I generally do with these is, even if they're still good, I just go ahead and replace them. I got abundance of them, so. I want to beat on that pretty good. Get it to pop out of there. It's in there. There you go. Helps use the handle. Alright. Then you're going to go to this nut right here, which if I remember right is an 18 millimeter, and I'm going to have to use my impact to get it off. So I will cut back in here in just a few minutes. Correction, this is a 19 millimeter on this one. Some of them are 18, some of them are 19. It just depends. I have had 18 millimeter ones on there and 19. So anyways, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this loose. That'll come off easy. Okay, and then what you're going to do next, so you're going to have to hit this nice and hard with a sledgehammer, but you don't want to use your nut because you'll end up boogering your nut up. And you don't want to hit those threads. You could put it on backwards if you don't have any other way. If it'll go on backwards, should. You don't want to booger up your tie rod, because in my case I gotta drive 20 miles to go get a new tie rod, and I'm trying to refrain from that. So yeah, I'll cut back in here in just a minute. Okay, well, I've been beating on this for a few minutes, and I'm trying to take it easy because I don't want to damage it. May have already damaged it. Yeah, I think I just screwed the threads up a little bit, but it's coming off, so the nut is anyhow. What I'm afraid I'm going to have to do, because normally these just pop right up. What I'm afraid I'm going to have to do, though, is I'm going to have to get a pickle fork in here, ball joint separator tool, and actually use that. And it's actually kind of dangerous to use, because you can mess this rubber boot up. If you mess this rubber boot up, then you're pretty well done for. Warranty will be void and all that, because but I can always order another rubber boot and put on it. That ain't that big of a deal. So, but yeah, I don't really have a choice. I'm gonna hit it with some lube. Maybe I can get it to loosen up, because it's still on aluminum, and aluminum oxidizes steel rust. So, so yeah, I'll cut back in here in just a few. I'm gonna see if I can get this off camera, and then I'll go back over the steps of what I did, and I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. Hopefully it won't be as bad. So I'll cut back in here. There we go. I actually ended up lubing it up, and I was able to get it to pop up. The other side is already up. When I did this front end, I took it to the alignment shop, and I had them grease the entire front end, and they didn't grease it at all. On the other side, it's already popped up, so it shouldn't be that bad to take loose. Might be the largest problem of my steering problem, rather. That's it. Yeah, so, but yeah, it should. There we go. So the tie rod's up now. The next step is going to be backing this nut loose, and to do that, I'll get 2 wrenches out that will fit it. This part of it here isn't like there ain't a certain size wrench. It's just something that fits square on it. And then this nut here, I can't remember the size of it offhand, but I will let you know. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll take this tie rod loose. I'll show you how to measure everything to get everything more or less just right. And hopefully we can get this back together here soon. Also, while I mention it, raise you up here. Right up in here is going to be where the steering shaft comes down and meets the rack and pinion, which would be the pinion for this. There is plastic in the way, which behind that there's metal in the way, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to see what I can do about getting to that without having to fight it too much. So we'll find out here soon. So I'll cut back in and let you guys know how it's going here. I'll get the appropriate size to get the tie rods off, and I'll be right back. We're back here. I decided I can't get the tie rod off on the other side, so I decided that I'm going to wait until I get the whole rack and pinion out to take it off. I come over here to start loosening this side, and I happen to notice that the tie rod nut is loose. The outer tie rod that goes into the rack and pinion is loose. So in reality, probably the only thing wrong with this car is this right here, and it's probably an easy fix. It's all spinning freely. But I already ordered the rack and pinion. It's here. I'm going to go ahead and replace it and continue on with this video. But what I'm going to do is I got the tie rod on the other end. It's still on there. It's going to stay on there until I get this rack and pinion completely out. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and show you how I'm going to pop this loose. It's already semi-loose, but I'm going to go ahead and put this pickle fork in there, which sucks because I could tear this boot real easy. Take your hammer. And work it up and down. I just tore the boot. I just seen it tear. There ain't no grease in there either. When I took it to the alignment shop, I told them, I said, I paid $70 to have the whole front and back aligned. And when they did the back, they didn't tell me that there was parts broken back there that had to be replaced. They just went ahead and done the alignment. And I stood right there and watched them do it in the bay, and I thought everything was good. Well, I was eating tires a month after that. I went through 3 sets of tires, and I ended up finding out what was wrong with it from another shop, and I fixed that problem. Now my tires are good on the back. I got a different size set of tires on the back now because I can't afford to buy new tires. So but yeah, this right here, this nut, it's loose. That's all loose. It shouldn't be. Everything should be tight. So I will be going to the alignment shop that I took it to and griping them out thoroughly for it, and I'll never do business with them again. I would rather pay $100 at another shop and have it done right than to get a good discount because I know somebody. You know, that's terrible to say, but people like that need to be fired. Why this and don't want to come up, I have no idea. It is stuck in there good. So anyways, I'm going to cut back in here. Camera's actually in my way. I'm going to cut back in here in just a little bit, and after I get all this loosened up, and we'll go up underneath the car and I'll show you the steps on getting that all out. Hoping this would be easier. Here we are, we're back again. Laying underneath. I'm trying something new, so if the camera's a little shaky, I do apologize. I got it on a magnetic mount that I kind of designed. Well, I did design because I'm too cheap. So your bottom side of this bolt is going to be 19 millimeter, and your top side is going to be 18 millimeter. I got an 18 millimeter wrench up there already, and hopefully this just breaks free nice and easy. I'm hoping. going to happen. So what I'm going to have to do is go from the top and break it free from the top and go from there. Fun. Okay, so I can't give you a good camera view because everything is real tight. I was trying to do that because I got a viewer that requested that I get in a little bit closer and show a little bit more detail, but unfortunately I can't do that on here. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this bolt loose. It's a 19 millimeter on bottom and an 18 millimeter on top. So if I can reach it. Problem is reaching it. There we go. There's one down, and I lost the nut. It's up there somewhere. There's a bolt and the washer. I just gotta find the nut. It fell somewhere. Maybe it got stuck in the wrench. I would only hope. Nope. Nope, it ain't in the wrench. So it probably hit the ground. It ain't gonna be hard to miss. It's here somewhere. So anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other side. I'm gonna try to get this freed up so I can actually finish taking it apart the right way. So I will cut back in here and got the bolt off that holds the steering shaft to the pinion. Took me a little bit. It's 11 millimeter that actually held it in place. It may vary from size to size, that's hard to say, but for the most part it should be the same. I don't know on G6s. I know this applies to G6s, Saturns. For this particular part, it's G6, Saturn, and there's one more vehicle that this rack and pinion fit, Malibu. So if you're driving one of them three vehicles, it's going to be the same part. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for this part. I discovered something else wrong with it too. The bolt that holds my control arm on this side is completely freed up. The only thing that's holding the nut in is the fact that it has a pinch point that holds it in. So I'm going to have to take all that apart, which means I got to remove the transmission mount. But I'm going to try to get the steering done first, and then I'll mess with that because that ain't real bad to fix. So just got to take a few things off that I didn't want to have to take off. So, but yeah, I'll cut back in here in just a few, and hopefully I have this out. So for the cussing and the swearing, trying to get to slide out. Come on, you blinking, blanking, blank, beep, beep, blank, 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 beep, blank, beep, beep. Gotta have some comical relief, because if I say the real words, then this has to be a 18 and over video. So, which probably most of the time are. I don't know. I'll cut back in when I have the stupid thing out. Probably take me 2 hours to get it out. So, I'll see you guys here in a little bit. Alright, so here we are. I actually got the rack out. I had to take an engine bolt out to where the mount is to get it out, which wasn't a problem after I got it out. It slid right out. This in here is, I didn't think it was bad at first after I got to seeing everything else, but it is really bad. It's real loose. They're not supposed to be that easy to turn by hand. So, good thing I went ahead and bought it. So, the only other thing I have to do to this one is I need to get that tie rod off there, which is going to be a pain in the ass. But I'm going to get it off there, and hopefully I'll get this thing back together in no time. So yeah, so I'll cut back in here in a little bit, and after I get this off and get the bolts lined up where they need to be at, or the nuts rather. So I think I got an extra one of those nuts for that tie rod because I've got that pretty stripped. So, but yeah, I'll cut back in here in just a little bit. So, as soon as I get the camera right, this is what you want to do for to mark your nuts to make sure that they are still in line. Take you a piece of cardboard, get her lined up just like so. Okay, and like I said, it'll probably end up having to go to the alignment shop anyhow, but this will kind of help. Just consider I won't make it in there soon. Okay, so this is going to be the driver's side. So that line will mark the driver's side, so you want to put a D on there. Okay, and then the passenger side, you want to do the same thing. And you put P for passenger, of course. Okay. P for passenger. All right. Okay, so that's what you got to do there, and then I gotta get these two nuts off and put them on the other one now. Of course, it's gonna be the driver's side of the old one. The nut is on there pretty good, so I'm gonna end up putting the whole thing in my vise, bench vise, and I'll take the nut loose on there. So I'll cut back in here in just a little bit. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to give you the view that I had a while ago. This is the new one. I got everything set up on already. All I have to do is slide it in there, and I'm gonna have to lay underneath to go in there. So you'll just have to watch. Most of these jobs are not that hard to do. Just when you have problems with tie rods. Tie rods are always a pain in the ass. So what you gotta do, you gotta hopefully not knock the camera over while trying to do this. That would suck. I'd be out $200. Get in there just like so. You have to flip it around. Like I said, there was a bolt I had to remove, so which I've done that already. You just feed in there like so, and I'm gonna get it flipped the right way. Let's see here. Oh, it is flipped the right way. Okay, that one. And there's that one. Okay, so that's how you feed it back in there, and then you're just going to start reversing everything that you did here from the beginning. So I'm going to cut back in here in just a few minutes when I have this bolted in, because I'm going to have the spot you're sitting in right now. So hang tight. Okay, so I got the tie rod back in. I got everything together. The steering rod, for the pinion rod rather, where the steering links to, there's going to be a groove in it that bolt has to fit. So you got to make sure you get just right. Otherwise you're going to have a heck of a time putting the steering back together. I know you can't see that, but you'll see it when you work on your own. It's not as bad as you think. It's just you got to play with it a little bit. Also, most of everything I've used to do this is 18 and 19 millimeter together. You're using one or the other, top, bottom bolts. That bolt I took out of the engine mount, it's a 18 millimeter as well, and I still have to put it back in. Other than that, the front end is back together. So anyways, yeah, so I'll be right back here in a minute. Anyhow,
I got a couple things to button up on here. I gotta put a couple bolts in and stuff. I gotta do a little bit of cob work on this, not cob work, but I gotta fix the cob work on the passenger side tie rod. And then I gotta fix that bolt on the lower control arm. But if you want to see that video on how to install your lower control arms, there'll be a link at the end of this video. You can click that link. That'll show you a little bit of detailed information there. I do want to say I've had a few people comment that it was kind of not derogatory but negative. I am by far no professional at this. I'm not ASE certified. I do this out of my home, and I do this type of stuff to show people that they can do it themselves. They don't need to hire some $80 to $100 an hour labor mechanic to do it. And that's really all it boils down to. I mean, a lot of this stuff is really easy. It just takes a little bit of figuring it out and researching it and whatnot. I, believe it or not, I went on YouTube. I researched this myself, which I didn't find a lot of information on. In fact, I didn't find anything on the G6s. So with that said, this will probably be the only one of the videos on there that you'll see, unless you get lucky and find one. I couldn't find one. So, but anyhow, smash that thumbs up. Really help get my channel out there, get more views. Comment down below, positive, negative feedback, whatever you feel like you want to do. And subscribe. I'm at 198 subscribers, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing, and I look forward to building it up. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers in the next couple months, I'm hoping. So if you can, share my channel to people that you know that drive a G6 or like to know anything about GM vehicles that I've been working on. Like I said, I do lawnmower videos and stuff like that too. I haven't done